Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. I'm Sasha Segan, this is Matt Buzzy. This is a really nice laptop which we are going to show you in about 2 minutes. But first, I need to say that if you are live on Facebook, Social Pete is here to take your comments and questions, and please make comments, ask questions. I'm feeling a little loopy today. I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. Please take advantage of that. My
favorite kind of day.
Yeah! Matt, of course, knows all about desktops and laptops. I know something about phones. If you are on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. We have a new One Cool Thing every day, every weekday at least. Not really weekends.
Can't come in for that.
We try to chill on the weekends. Yeah. But today we have the new Razer Blade, and man, does this look sleek.
It is nice. So yeah, the Razer Blade hasn't really seen a design overhaul in a few iterations since its debut. It's looked mostly the same, but to the someone who doesn't know too much about, that isn't that familiar with it, it might look relatively the same.
So
and it is.
Let's start with the absolute basics. Razer Blade. What kind of laptop is this? Who is it for? What's the range of prices?
Overview. So the Razer Blade is Razer's flagship laptop. It's their main gaming laptop. They kind of pioneered the thin, light, portable gaming laptop, which was kind of a pipe dream for many manufacturers for many years.
Yes.
It's all metal. It's super nice. It weighs less than 5 pounds. It's 4.63 pounds. The screen size on the former versions has always been 14 inches, which was kind of a weird in-between spot for a gaming laptop. 15 is usually the minimum. Some people like 17. So if 15 is not enough, 14, might not be enough.
But also, like most laptops in the world are either 13, 15, or 17.
Right,
They're
so
odd numbers.
14 was just odd.
Yeah.
It was even, if you will. This is now also 15.6 inches, but without making the laptop much bigger. They finally made the bezels thin, where the blades kind of had these, always had these thick bezels around the end. So that's where most of the size increase of the screen comes from. The laptop's actually a little thinner. It's 0.68 inches thick, so it's nothing. Same metal build, and to do that, they adopted, like many manufacturers are doing, to kind of chase the Razer build, NVIDIA's Max-Q technology, which I can get into in a minute. But that's how it's thin and more powerful than ever before.
And NVIDIA's Max-Q technology basically strips a lot of excess components off a discrete graphics card to cram it into a laptop.
It's a combo of it's more like a hardware limited, like a tuned down version of the card. So they take it in the factory, they put a ceiling on it. It reduces the heat, it reduces the power output, and thus they need less thermals. They need you don't need as much power to run it. So it allows these laptops to get thinner. And other manufacturers have been doing that to kind of chase the blade's thin form, and things have been getting closer and closer. But now that Razer themselves has adopted Max-Q, and there's a Max-Q GTX 1070 in this one, it has done it better than everybody else once again.
Okay, so let's deal with the basic external specs here. What do we have for screen resolution? And it's not a touch screen,
Not a
right?
touch. So, yes, this is a 15.6-inch screen. It is 1080p. It's 144 hertz, though. It's got a nice matte finish with really nice viewing angles. You can see this thing from like any...
I'm loving that matte finish.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
No reflections, but sometimes that makes it look a little dull. I think they kind of mostly avoided that here. It looks really nice. You can get... they're not yet. They're coming out this month. There's going to be a 4K touch version at the high end, and a 60 hertz 1080p screen.
But for a really serious, I mean, for a serious gamer, I feel like 144 hertz 1080p is great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting your frame rates, and in a laptop, you're just not going to push 4K at high frame rates.
No, it's just not worth it. You could do media on it on the side, but you don't want to play games at that. We have a question.
Is it water resistant? I need something that will be able to withstand my upset tears while I'm watching World Cup.
I mean, tears it could probably handle. Just be a little careful where you cry. It's not actually what don't spill on it. It won't hold up so well to actual spills or submersion.
Don't go swimming with.
Don't go swimming with your blade.
Yeah.
So this version is it is relatively expensive. Any laptop that's going for thin and light like this, you're going to pay a premium for the form factor. That's just how it works. If it's not big, you're going to pay more because it took them a lot of effort to make it yay big. So this one as configured is 2600. For that, you get the 144 hertz screen. You get 16 gigs of RAM. The Max-Q tuned down GTX 1070, which is still perfectly fine, and not more than perfectly fine. Very good for a 1080p screen. There's a 8th generation Coffee Lake Intel Core i7 CPU in here. It has 512 gigabyte SSD. You can tune that down with everything else being the same for $256. You can cut like $200 off by getting a smaller SSD.
And now, of course, I always like to look at the ports on this show. I'm kind of a ports maniac.
Portsman.
Yeah, Portsmith. So we have USB-C.
Thunderbolt 3.
Thunderbolt, yay! Yep. But also a display port.
Mini display, yep.
Interesting.
HDMI.
Yep, HDMI, USB 3, a hole.
A hole,
Yes.
lock hole.
Yeah, important to have key holes in
Yep.
your laptop. Headphone jack, 2 more USB 3s, proprietary power connector. Okay,
All
so
your bases are covered there. Thunderbolt
Yep.
3 is a nice inclusion.
Yep.
Not a lot of laptops like that.
Is this beautiful RGB keyboard lighting customizable?
Yes, I made this lovely rainbow fade for our photography photos myself. I went key by key and made a fade. You
Okay.
can make a moving fade with one of the presets, much easier, but that doesn't look as good for photos, so I made it static. You can change every key. You can make it wave, you can make it ripple, you can make it do all sorts of things. You can use the presets, or you can customize every key by itself and drag the little color slider wherever you want it to go.
Oh, wow.
Millions of options for these, which is one of the strong suits.
Now I see what looks like two big speakers here. How's the audio?
The audio's pretty good. It's not, you're not gonna get a ton of bass out of it. Actually, one of my cons is I actually don't really like the way these speakers look. I feel like this grill is kind of dated with the kind of sleek rest of the look of the laptop. But I guess that's a little bit of a nitpick. But someone else made that same comment, so I know it's not just me.
And before we get to the next question, I just want to hold up. This is what the brick looks like.
Not too bad. Could be a lot heftier.
Could be worse. Could be worse
for sure.
Let's take a question.
What's a touchpad like?
It's really nice. It's a nice glass touchpad. They made it extra big. Sasha, you can take it for a test drive. I like it a lot.
Let me check that out.
And the keys as well, while we're on the subject, are very nice to type on.
Oh, I am loving the thumb rejection.
Can't get that thumb in here. No, sir.
Yeah, because I have a thing against big touchpads because I don't want to have to hold my hand like this, But notice I am resting, I'm resting my palm on the touchpad, my thumb's on the touchpad, but there is no confusion whatsoever in terms of my finger position. Let's take another question.
I've heard about heat coming from the SSD under the palm rest. Have you had any issues like that?
I definitely didn't notice that. I mean, heat will come from your SSD, I guess. I didn't feel it. I mean, gaming laptops get warm. I'm not used to that. It didn't stand out as abnormal to me, though.
Now, speaking of things that might make your gaming laptop hot, let's look at the benchmarks.
Yes, let's hit up those benchmarks.
Okay.
And a little preview, a little spoiler. It was the best one we tested.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are looking at. There we go. Now, thank you, Microsoft Edge. Okay, so we are looking at an 8th gen Core i7. Yep.
Hot off the presses.
And we are looking at the best PC Mark score on this chart.
Yes, and the best battery life on this chart. You will also notice this thing gets 7.5 hours of battery out of this with powerful components inside. That's impressive.
How is this even possible?
I don't know. The Razer geniuses have figured something out because the MSI got pretty close. 7, it got over 7. That was the next best. But you saw the evolution of these Max-Q laptop scores.
Yeah.
The first one, the ROG Zephyrus, got 2.5 hours, and now this is up to 7. So some improvements along the way. Most of those are 7th generation processors, but even against the MSI's, the same processor, this just is performing better. And you'll see the same thing on the graphics card results because somehow there's less. They have a less diminished version of the GTX 1060 in their Max-Q card than competitive laptops
Let's get another question before we get to graphics cards.
Did you mention RAM?
Yes, 16 gigs in here. I think they all come with 16. I don't think that's of all the configuration options. You can change the screen, the graphics card. It is available with the Max-Q GTX 1060 as well. Or not a Max-Q, actually. I think it's just a regular GTX 1060. But the RAM, I'm pretty sure, is 16 across the board.
So this is a gaming laptop. Enjoy your 232 frames.
Yes, that is at 720p if you really want to play. But at 1080p, 93 frames, 100 frames, with those benchmarks set to ultra quality. So that's well over 60. That gives you a lot of headroom.
Yeah.
That means the most demanding games, you won't have to tune the settings down. That means games in the future that come out, you won't have to worry just like in 6 months or a year that your laptop's old.
And I'd like to reemphasize that this is a 144 hertz screen, so you're seeing your 93 or 100. You're
Yes.
not just seeing 60 frames.
It's where, yeah, you actually get something out of that.
Yeah.
If you were to go for, because yes, it is expensive. If you were to go for the GTX 1060 version, which you can get right now, I think that one is $2,200, and the cheaper one will be $1,899. You will still probably get 60 most of the time. I think it'll edge closer to that 60 frames line. So that's really up to you and your budget if you can justify that. But a lot of people don't like to dip below or even be close to, because then the most demanding games you'll probably have to lower a couple settings.
And you want to have this laptop for a good 3 years
Yeah,
at least.
that would be ideal. So
Yeah.
Usually for me, I like to spend a little bit more and get the thing that future-proofs me better. But budgets are budgets, so I can't speak for everybody.
Let's take another question.
Any concerns over the placement of the display cable?
The display cable, as in not this.
No. They mean
Or the display port, I guess.
One of these? Not really. I mean, some gaming laptops with the bigger rear thermals have it on the back. That might be a little easier. It's the last one, which I think was probably intentional.
I mean, I can
around
only
the back,
think from that
but-
question, and now I'm trying to psychoanalyze the person asking the question.
That's my favorite thing to do.
With some thin and light laptops, the ribbon cable in the hinge gets pinched sometimes, leading to lower reliability for those laptops. We've
That
seen that
could be
on-
what they mean?
It is
Okay.
one of the 97 problems with recent MacBooks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there are
that
plenty.
could be what they mean.
That could be. And yeah, this does support 3 displays, by the way. You can do up to 3 between the USB-C Thunderbolt 3, HDMI, and the mini display. No, that didn't. I mean, it juts out just enough to get around the screen here.
Yeah.
If that's what you're referring to, then I think you're clear in that regard.
Let's bring another question.
Did you mention cooling?
So there's 2. It's nothing. They've redesigned their little thermal vapor chambers that go. And we saw the internals when we saw this, for the first time. We saw it outside the system, what it looks like. It's a pretty clever heat pipe design, little vapor thermal chamber. It takes it up and away despite these relatively small fans. They are audible while gaming. While I was running benchmarks, they were up. I think it's a little better than it used to be because it's more of a high pitched thing, I think, because they're small. So you can definitely hear them, but if you had any game audio running, or especially if you were using headphones, you wouldn't hear it. It wasn't revving. It didn't get super hot. It gets warm, it definitely gets hot, but it wasn't a problem. It's nothing that you'll see. There's no side or there's no side ventilation. It's all at the bottom, which it's raised off the desk, so
it's
not
raised more than a lot of other laptops out there. I notice there's an extra millimeter of height there that's going to help with the airflow.
Yeah, it's not directly into your desk. But yeah, the cooling they did redesign the cooling because it's a more powerful graphics hardware than they were using before, so they had to.
Bring it again, Pete.
Is it upgradable?
So actually, yes, for the first time.
What?
Yeah.
What?
For the first time, yeah, you can unscrew the bottom here. They don't
And then
help
what do you?
as much. I've seen
do?
online they don't help you as much as you maybe would like.
But what components can you
but
reach when you unscrew it?
You can change the RAM out. I think it supports up to 32 if you would like to.
The SSD?
I don't remember off the
Okay.
top of my head. But you can actually, that's the Blade before was never that, but they actually.
I will point out
Except
you
for
are
that.
not messing with the processor or the graphics card, okay?
Yeah, don't.
You're not going to mess with the processor or the graphics card in here. Get a desktop.
But yeah, that is where you won't void your warranty by opening the bottom of this
Okay.
because they said you can do that.
Okay. But RAM, SSD, those are things we may be able to access in here.
for sure.
Yeah. Let's get another question.
To get some clarification on the display thing, it was you can see the display cable on the bottom side of the hinge, which could potentially mean it gets damaged.
So I think that's
what I was
Sasha
saying, it was the
saying.
pinch.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it could be careful. I guess is really all I can. All I can say to you there.
It's not a thing that we necessarily see as a problem.
No.
I understand, especially because of cable pinching issues in some other laptops, but it's just not something we saw as a problem here.
Yeah.
Any more questions out there? Okay, so the nouveau Razer Blade
Yes.
is editor's choice. It's only 4 stars. Why not push it up a little higher?
It's 4 stars. It's the best at what it does, but without being, it hasn't revolutionized the. If this was the first Max-Q laptop I was seeing and it was doing all this stuff and it was doing it this well, yes. As it stands, it was a bit better than the Origin Evo 15, which was our previous editor's choice. it is better than the previous Blade, which was also very good. So it earns the Editor's Choice stamp as our kind of king of the category right now. It kind of inspired this whole line of thin and light gaming laptops, and now it's kind of taken the crown back. I think a 4 is pretty representative.
Okay.
It is expensive. You can't go out if it was a little more affordable. I would say 4.5. Like everyone, run out and get it. You definitely have to be a little willing to spend to get the premium. This is the king, so you're kind of spending a lot to get the king of the crop. But it is a better version of the Blade. The new screen size makes a big difference without making the laptop big. It's light. It's the fastest one. It is the longest lasting one. The screen is the nicest. The build is the nicest. It wins.
Okay, so this is the Razer Blade 2018. It is our editor's choice for gaming laptops, right? For gaming laptops, it's terrific. Just don't actually drop it into the Sea of Thieves. It is not completely waterproof.
No.
If you are looking to take your games on the go, this is the laptop you should be taking them with, as long as you can afford it. Full review is up on PCMag.com. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing. We have a special note to our live Facebook viewers. Tomorrow and Thursday, we will be at the CE Week trade show here in New York City, interviewing a lot of interesting startups with a lot of interesting, cool things. Our schedule may be a little erratic, and we're not going to do live shows. We're going to post them on YouTube instead, post them later on Facebook. So if you want to participate in the live discussion on Facebook, come back on Friday. But meanwhile, all you YouTube viewers, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are going to have new videos. Keep an eye out for One Cool Thing.